Hello. Hey, I did this FYI thing. I put some of this Rustoleum clear BattleShip Gray, 2 coats down and 2 coats of clear down. The usage of the clear gloss coat is 50% of the BattleShip Gray. This building is approximately 21 feet square or 20 feet square. You can actually see the lines where I split it in half. I don't care about that. But I did one half and then I did the other half. Started with this side over here. And you don't need to see all my junk, but you can just see the floor. But this is from my wife and her girlfriend. And most of the preliminary work was done by my wife's girlfriend's husband. He routed the cracks, filled them in. Most of them, he got 98% of them. He just missed a couple, and I just went heavy on the cracks and the both the ones he found and the ones he didn't find with trim. When I did the trim deal around the edges, I went ahead and went over all the cracks, so there's twice as much paint and clear coat on the cracks as there is on the floor. So I did 2 coats. You got to wait 24 hours between each coat. And I got a little discoloration because I had some water come in. This side only had a little over 24 hours to drive, and we had a massive rainstorm last night. But at least you know how it leaks through the door. And I was going to paint this little spot today, but I'm not going to until after I get the trench in. I need to put a drain trench right there in front of this door so that we get adequate drainage down here. These plants will have to be relocated from the front of the building over to that fence line, I think. Because the water comes in on both sides when it's a driving rain. I didn't realize it was that bad, but it blew both the dumpsters over. Yeah, it was pretty good last night. I just didn't hear it because I was out like a light. But yeah, it went down pretty good. The BattleShip Gray paint, I love it. And I call this thing the USS Texas in honor of the USS Texas. I like it. But you can see where the mark was between this division. And so I did what I had to do, and this was the smaller side. The other side was the larger side initially, but you got to do what you got to do with the junk you have. So it's not like I can afford to flood mop epoxy down on the floor like all the people with money do. So we're going to go with this. This stuff looks pretty good. I like it. I think if even after we get some racks in here and stuff, some shelving racks, more like those, only made out of metal maybe. You just go over in the center where you need it, put some more paint down, put some more clear. The clear, if you guys remember Carnation Instant Milk back from the 60s and before, youngins, you won't understand what that is, but it's like white milky water. That's what the clear looks like. And it has that consistency. So it takes about, I did half when I did it. It would average to put the BattleShip Gray down about 3 hours. The clear goes down in that same amount of space in about 45 minutes to an hour. You got to move real quick. It's not that it dries quick, it just has the consistency, just a little thicker than water. It's also the base coat if you want to put a different color on there. But I think this BattleShip Gray comes out real nice. It's like a bluish gray color. It's pretty. It makes it great for a work floor. And this floor is in purpose in life is going to be a, hey, swap the camera side, go back the other way. There we go. This whole building is going to be for quilts. It's for a ladies' sewing shop, basically. There's the paint. Use those brushes right there. They get those from Wally Mart. They're $10 cheaper each. I don't even bother cleaning them anymore. I don't need all that mineral spirits and crap in my body. And I use the 2-inch roller and the 14-inch roller, 3/8 snap, just like they recommended. I just taped it up. I did buy that freaking blue tape. I got 2 rolls of it. It took me about 1 1/3 rolls to tape all this stuff up for both sides. I wasn't going to buy a roll for $36 for freaking, so I bought masking tape instead and haven't used it. But get yourself the big pan. It works great. The larger roller will uses a whole lot more paint to get onto the roller than a little 2-inch roller. These 2-inch rollers are just as slick as that 2.5-inch brush. Great for trim work. And so I hit the trim with the brush all around the edges, everywhere, and then went behind it with the roller, and then I used a 14-inch roller on top of that. Takes a while, so you got to wait 24 hours between coats. I think it came out pretty nice, even with the little discoloration over here. This don't bother me too much. And if you know, some people would worry about that and they'd say, oh, you got to mix all the gallons together. I ain't playing that game. I ain't got time for that, and I don't have the money for that. At $50 a gallon, it cost me roughly $1,000 to do this floor, plus my labor. I think it's well worth it. Just for a note, a lot of people complaining on the internet about the dinged up cans and stuff. I had one can that was slightly dinged, and that came from one of the local stores. I ordered from Home Depot, and the 2 cans that came from Hagerstown, Maryland, you cannot pack cans of paint better than they did. They had it double boxed, and inside the inner box they had freaking foam. They did the liquid foam thing in a bag around the cans. They were pristine. Yeah, I've seen them in the stores all beat up pretty bad, and it's like at $50 a gallon. That's a problem, especially if you need to close it up, and I do close it up. I was able to, on a clear coat, I had to close it up. I was afraid it was going to do, because since it's one part epoxy, it was going to harden up overnight. It didn't. So I don't know how long it takes. It takes a while for it to harden. That's a good thing. It's a good thing in that you don't waste the paint. It's a bad thing maybe because I only had about 24, maybe 28, 30 hours before that driving rain came in last night, gave me this little deep discoloration right here. But like I said, I don't see any reason in the world why, if it goes bad somewhere along the line, you can't just freaking lay some more paint and lay some more clear over it and be done with it. And don't even worry about it. It's a working floor. And then the other deal, we had a house for a while in South Carolina with a basement, 3/4 basement, 3 walls out of 4 were in a basement. And the previous owner had put 12-inch squares of indoor-outdoor carpet in the basement. And we got humidity down there and everything else, but that carpet worked perfect. It's got a rubber base and it's got the carpet on the top. You hit it with a vacuum, sucks it up, you're good. And then a dehumidifier. I think that would work here. So if the ladies decide they get tired of walking on the concrete, they can always put the indoor or outdoor carpet down and have their sewing area down here. That's the plan. Yeah, they both love quilts. And they got the bug. And they've been dreaming about it forever, and that's good. Anyway, that's it. Adios. It's good stuff. I'd give it a shot. I'd do it again in a heartbeat.